Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. We've been on a short break for the past couple of months, but it's so glad to be back. And on today's episode, I have a wonderful, fantastic guest. His name is Olivier Mankondo. Welcome, Olivier.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm really grateful.
You're welcome. Olivier Mankondo is a keynote speaker, an author, a weight loss and wellness coach with a passion for helping people achieve optimal health. I mean, his story is so inspiring. He went from being overweight to being in ideal weight. I don't remember what the numbers are, but he's going to share all of that with us. So, yeah, welcome, Olivier. Good to have you on our podcast today.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. So let me start with this. Can you tell us about yourself? Where are you from? And what was growing up like for you?
Yeah, so I'm originally from the Democratic Republic of Congo. For the time being, I'm in the UK. Basically, growing up in Africa was completely different from here in Europe. Basically, when I was growing up, there was no computer games, there was no video games and stuff like that. So we were forced to play outside, running around, climbing trees. And basically, always we were in movement, which is completely different from the kids of today who are glued to their computers and stuff like that. And I even remember, for example, when it was the summer holiday, at 8 a.m. I will already be awakened. I will go and meet my friends and we'll play football all day long. In the afternoon, maybe we'll climb trees, and from upstairs, from above the trees, we could see down. So it was really, really fun. And for example, on the weekend, we'll go hiking. We'll pack our stuff, food, a sandwich, soft drink, and stuff like that. And we'll be working for hours on end. And for example, when we see a river, we will start swimming. So it was really, really fun when I was growing up. And basically at that time as well, I was not exposed to too much animal product, dairy product, and processed food, which means that I was very lean and there was no problem of me being overweight. So basically, that's how I grew up when I was young.
Wow, that is rich. I so much identify with this because I'm African as well. So I relate to your story growing up. Like
Yeah.
there was no care in the world, right? And I guess we grew up in a time when there wasn't much of technology in terms of like internet and phones, So a lot of playtime was outdoors with nature, with, friends and all that. Good old days, I must say.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that. So Olivia, can we start with So what was your weight gain journey like? So you went from weighing how much to, because I look at you now, I look at someone who is in an ideal shape, you look good, in terms of your size. So where did you move from what weight to what weight?
Yeah. So what happened is that, like I said, when I was growing up, I didn't have any problems with my weight and all that. It's only when I left my country, I went first to South Africa, where I spent a year, and then I came to the UK. And in the UK, I was exposed to a lot of animal product, dairy product, and processed food and stuff like that. And because back home, I was not eating a lot of that. So for me, it was like a catch-up. I wanted to eat as much as I could. And because of that, at my heaviest, my weight was 100 kilos or 220 pounds. So that was my...
20 pounds, 220 pounds. Okay, 100 kilos.
Which is 100 kilos.
100 kilos. How tall? Pardon me asking, how tall are you? I'm just trying to...
I'm 1 meter and 69 centimeters, which is 5'6".
I bet at 220 pounds and that height, you're definitely considered overweight, like grossly.
Yeah, I was obese.
Obese.
I was
obese,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you look at the BMI, I was obese, yeah. Because obese. The BMI, when you're over 30, you are classed as obese, and my BMI was 32.
Oh, your BMI was 32, okay. What's the ideal BMI range?
For example, for the time being, my BMI is 22, 23. So basically, if you have to have a good BMI, you need to be at 25.
I see. So anything over 25 is considered obese. Wow. So how much weight did you lose, and how long did it take you to lose all of that weight?
Yeah, so basically it took me 9 months to lose 35 kilos, which is 77 pounds. And for example, if you look at me, you can see the way I used to be.
Whoa.
And
Wow.
yeah, so
The
Yeah,
difference
so
is
basically,
clear.
yeah,
Why does
yeah.
the weight always go to the stomach? Because even myself, whenever I put on weight, it goes to the stomach first, and then my whole body might be okay, but then my stomach is so large, right? And when I lose weight, the stomach goes first. So yeah, that's amazing. So it took you 8 months to lose to go
Nine
from
months.
9 months to go from
9 months,
220.
yeah. Yeah.
Wow, from 220 to
Now my weight is 143 pounds.
143 pounds. That is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Which is
Wow.
65 kilos.
It's 5 kilos. Wow. I need to go on some weight loss, weight loss streak myself because wow, that is awesome. How did you do it? And I think before I go into the question of how you did it, what was your relationship with food growing up? Because I know for some people, food can be cultural. In some communities, they bond over, a plate of good meal. And was it like that for you? And did you have anyone, maybe your parents, giving you like good education about nutrition, which food to eat, what food not to eat, and all that? Can you share about that?
Yeah, basically, my parents didn't give me any education about nutrition. It was just what they give you on the plate. That's what you have to eat. So there was no nutritional education and stuff like that. You just eat. Basically, at that time, mostly what was good for me is that usually what I was eating was fresh. It was organic. It was not a lot of stuff like processed food and stuff like that. I did have less processed food. For example, the dairy product, it was very minimal. I was eating mostly stuff like vegetables and stuff like that. And at that time, even though now I know that that's the best food to eat, but growing up, we thought that this is for poor people. For rich people, it was meat, chicken, pork, and stuff like that. But luckily at that time, I was not having a lot of that, which means that I was very lean. I didn't have any problem of weight and stuff like that.
It's so funny how I identify with your story again. I mean, for me, when I was back home, I watch shows, I watch TVs, and I see all of those food like McDonald's, like Burger King. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to eat those foods. And then when I
Yeah.
came to the US, right, my first few months, I went to all of those places and I realized that, man, this is such a lie because it doesn't even taste as good as it looks. And I started missing my own native food, our own native food, like our soups, traditional meal. And I went back to that. So it's amazing how some of these things work for us, the programming we get. Okay, so back to your story, your journey. So when you migrated to the UK, how did that relationship with food change? What happened? Was it that you were only exposed to like the dairy, the farm, animal products, and you didn't have much of the organic, food, or was it just you falling into the mindset of, oh, this is the white man's food is better than the food I always knew? What was it like for you?
Yeah, I think the mindset was in the sense that because back home I was not eating all this food. And like you said, we were watching that on TV, on movies and stuff like that. And as soon as you come, you just want to experience that. For example, in the movie, you will see someone comes, it's open the fridge, there's a lot of ice cream, there's a lot of milk. And the first thing you say to yourself, when I go to Europe, that's what I'm going to do. And when you arrive, you start eating like a pig. So that's what I was doing. It's like you were you wanted to eat as much as you can. And I even remember until midnight, I would still have my bottle of Coca-Cola with some biscuits, some cakes, and stuff like that. So always I was having something to eat. And because of that, I'm starting to suffer from a lot of chronic diseases that if you want, we will be able to go into that as well. But that was my relationship with food. It was eating. It's like I was late and I had to catch up and eat as much as I could. So that's what was my relationship with food when I arrived here in the UK.
Wow, interesting. So, what was the defining moment for you when you realized that I can't keep doing this? I can't keep eating this way. I have to lose all of this weight. How long did it take you to get to that weight, that 220 pounds?
Yeah, so basically it took me, when I decided to lose weight, I was 46. That's when I decided to lose weight. So what happened is that because of that, I'm starting to start suffering from a lot of chronic diseases. And one of them was high blood pressure. And people should know that high blood pressure is a very dangerous disease. And 50% of people who suffer from cardiovascular diseases or problem with their kidneys, it's because of high blood pressure. So I was suffering from high blood pressure. And I even remember there was a day when I was waking up around 3 a.m. with a sharp pain in my chest. And the people at home had to call the ambulance. The ambulance came, they picked me up, they took me to the hospital, and over there they told me that my blood pressure was through the roof. And they gave me some medication and stuff like that. And apart from that, I was suffering from massive headaches every day or every other day. And in fact, I had to have some painkillers in my wallet all the time. I had dandruff, chest pain, back pain, abscesses, joint pain, and a lot of dental problems because of the bad eating habit that I did develop. Like I was saying, until midnight, I will have something to eat. And because of that, 2 to 3 months I had to see the dentist. And I was always tired. So, for example, on the day where I had to go to work, I will drag myself out of bed. And on the day where I was not working, I will sleep until 1 p.m. So that was my life, and I didn't know what else to do. So I went to the doctor, and the doctor told me that I'll be on medication for the rest of my life. And even though I didn't know what I know now, but instinctively I said to the doctor, no, I'm not going on medication for the rest of my life. I don't want that. And he said, okay, what are you going to do then? And I said, okay, I'm going to join a martial art club. So I went and started doing karate. And I was there for 4 years thinking that my blood pressure will come down, but there was no changes. And what's happened is that out of desperation, I would say, just one day out of the blue, I was just watching a program on YouTube, and there was an Indian yogi who suggested that by stopping eating animal products, it was possible to reverse 70% of the chronic diseases. And because my health was pretty bad, I said, okay, I'm not losing anything. I'll try that. So it was a Wednesday that I watched the program. On Thursday, I came back from work. And on Friday, I went cold turkey. I stopped completely with animal product, dairy product, and most processed food. And what's happened is that after 4 months, I went to see the doctor who told me that I will be on medication for the rest of my life. And my blood pressure was completely gone. And like I said, after 9 months, I lose 77 pounds or 35 kilos. And all my chronic diseases disappeared. So I don't suffer from headaches anymore, no chest pain, no back pain, no abscesses. Every single ailment is completely gone. And in fact, for the past 9 years, I've not been sick a single day, not even a headache. And for the past 10 years, I've not taken a single pill, not even an aspirin or a paracetamol. And on top of that, I've been able to slow down my aging process, because a lot of people, when they see me, they think that I'm in my late 20s, but I'm actually 50. I'm 55.
Oh my God. This is amazing. This is an amazing testimony. Boy, that's a lot you just let out there. A lot of information. So by cutting out animal products, nothing else, no exercise, no ketogenic diet, no intermittent fasting, none of these, like no dieting, just by cutting out animal fats, we're able to lose the 77 pounds. Sorry, is it 77 pounds now?
Yes, 77 pounds.
And you haven't been sick for the last 9 years. You've been
Yeah,
off
so
all your medications. And you've been
No.
off all your medications.
Yes, all of my medication. The only exercise that I've been doing, but because I don't go to the gym, the only exercise that I've been doing is that in the morning, I will just do some stretching exercise for 5 minutes. And I will jump on my rebounder for 5 minutes. And then on Sunday, I will go for a 2-hour walk. That's all I've been doing. And I've been doing as well intermittent fasting. That's all I've been doing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, intermittent fasting is good because I don't really consider it a diet. It's just, just a habit, eating habits.
Yeah.
I think it's a better eating habit. Wow. That is amazing. Okay, so let's go deep into this. So why is animal product bad for us? Why is it bad? Now, when you talk about animal product, how about organic? Because I know these days, right, with, farmers wanting to make money, make profits, they inject most of these animals with antibiotics, inject a lot of things to them to make them grow fast, right? What if I stay away from those type of products, like the ones with antibiotics, and buy the organic ones, the natural animals? Is that a better kind of animal product, or all animal products generally bad? No. Can you dig deep into the science behind, why that is bad for people?
Yeah, so when you look at animal product, if you eat the organic, yes, it's better
Okay.
compared to the one which are fed with antibiotics and stuff.
Okay.
But at the
Okay.
end of the day, they both will not be good for your health. Why is that? It's because of the bowel transit time. What is the bowel transit time? It's the time that certain type of food takes to pass through our system. For example, if you eat a piece of fruit, it will take 3 to 4 hours to pass through our system. You eat raw vegetables, it will take around 12 hours to pass through our system.
Mm-hmm.
You eat cooked vegetables, it will take between 24 and 30 hours to pass through our system. But if you eat meat, fish, or chicken, it takes 72 hours or 3 days to pass through our system. So what is the relevance? For example, if you take a piece of meat, you leave that outside for 3 days during the summer. When you come back after 3 days, you will see that piece of meat in a rotting state. You will see maggot, you will see flies, and it's going to stink. And when you look at the internal temperature of a human being, it's 36 degrees centigrade or 98 degrees Fahrenheit, which is hot. So when we eat meat, the same rotting process that I've just described to which happen outside, it's exactly what will happen inside our gut. It will start rotting inside our gut because of it takes too long. And that's why you will see, for example, carnivores, they've got very short intestines because the meat passes to the system very slowly. Human beings and herbivores have got very long intestines because the fruit and the vegetables pass very quickly. So that's one of the reasons. So when you eat animal product, because it takes too long, it starts rotting inside our guts. And what you will see as well is that it will start giving you, that's why, for example, you will see a lot of people, they've got bad breath or they smell bad because of this rotting that is happening inside their guts. And what happened as well is that you will see that meat has got no fiber and it creates constipation. You will see that there are people who can spend 3 days, 4 days, even a week without going to the toilet. And this is very, very detrimental to the human mechanism. When you don't go to the toilet, the fecal matter, the toxin, and all that will get reabsorbed into the bloodstream. And that's why a lot of people will start suffering from high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer, Parkinson, arthritis, and all the autoimmune diseases where the body destroys itself, like the inflammatory bowel disease, the lupus, the psoriasis, the rheumatoid arthritis, and the list goes on. That's why meat is very, very bad for the human mechanism. And on top of that, all these animals, before they get slaughtered, they go through a lot of negative emotions. They go through fear, they go through depression, they go through anxiety, they go through hatred. And basically what happens is that just before they die, they start releasing loads and loads of harmful chemicals. And when we eat them, it's going to produce lots of diseases and death. And on top of that, what people need to understand is that energy doesn't die. All this animal gets slaughtered, all this negative energy will stay in their flesh. And that's why when we eat them, because energy doesn't die, it just gets transferred. And that's why you will see in the world, there's a lot of depression, lots of people live in fear, in hatred, and in stuff like that because of all the suffering that all these animals have, and they get passed on to us. So that's the reason why I've stopped eating animal products.
It's interesting. Everything you say makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. So about the bowel transit time, that's very interesting. So how about, does it have to do also with the metabolic rate? So I know some people have higher metabolism, like children, for instance, maybe younger people than older people. Do you think that bowel transit time has anything to do with, one's metabolic activity? Because I think for someone who is probably more, physical, someone who is more up and doing, they probably would digest some kind of foods quicker than someone who isn't necessarily. Do you think that comes into effect, or is it a solid, like, across board, this is how long it is? Because it makes so much sense. I agree. I spent a couple of weeks not too long ago, like I did 1 week just plant-based eating, and the experience was, while it was tough, it was very rewarding. Because when I say it was tough, was because I was just hungry, because this is someone who has always eaten, like, I eat fat, meat, everything, and then I just cold turkey started eating just vegetables, just spinach, kale, all of those things. I did raw. I didn't do cooked. I don't know if probably if I did cooked, it would have been better, but just eating just salads, raw food for 7 days. I was just hungry. But after the 7 days, oh my God, I never felt better. I felt so good. I felt so energized. I felt like inflammation was gone. Like my joints felt better. I just felt overall better. And I was like, wait, there's actually something with eating just, I think people who eat just plant-based. There's something here, right? So I agree with you. So, but going back to this bowel transit time, does metabolism have anything to do with it? Or is it just, that's just what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is. So even if you have high metabolism, that's the bowel transit time. It's the same for all of us. But the problem is when you are young, when you are a children, the immune system is very strong, which means that they can get rid of all these diseases. And what happens is that for the first 20 to 25 years of our lives, your body will deal with all this abuse that we can do with it. But after that, the body cannot take it no more. And that's why people start being sick, starting having all these chronic diseases. But it's across the board. The bowel transit time, it's the same for kids, for adults, it's exactly the same. And even when, for example, for people who are Christians, yes, a lot of people will argue, but when you look in the Bible, in Genesis 1:29, it says that God gave us fruit and vegetables. It didn't say meat. It didn't say dairy product or processed food. It said fruit and vegetables. And when you eat that, you will see that basically you will have a very good level of health. And even when you look at what's his name was, there was I forgot his name, but it was a story in the Bible, and basically he was just eating vegetables and stuff, and compared to the other people who were eating
Daniel.
meat.
Yeah,
Yeah, Daniel,
Daniel.
exactly. You can see that his health was better than the other people. So I will argue that, for example, when you look at Adam and Eve, they were not eating animal products. They were just eating fruit and vegetables. And that's the original food that we need to eat. And when you eat those foods, it's become very difficult to become sick now.
Hmm. That's actually true. You hit on a solid point because I saw that as well in the Bible. Genesis, I think he said 129, right? And when after God created, he said he gave them plants for food. I noticed
Yeah.
he didn't mention meat. He said God
No.
gave them plants for food, right? So that's actually, true. But wow, this is just it's a lot for, I mean, it's a lot of mindsets, like orientation, the way we think about food. So when you were talking, you mentioned fish as well. I thought fish wasn't included in animal. Is fish also considered animal product or no?
Yeah,
Because
it's
at
still
least
the same
leave me with
because
something. I need to have something. Let me have fish.
yeah, because that's what people think that fish is better. But when you look at the bowel transit time, it's exactly the same.
The
Fish
same.
will still take 3 days to pass through our system. So, and it will start rotting exactly the same as meat. And for example, if you eat organic fish, this is different. But when you eat the fish that they produce commercially, this fish has got, they've got, what is called again? They've got, is it aluminum? No,
Mercury? No?
mercury, yes. They've
Okay.
got mercury, and mercury is very bad for the brain. Very, very bad. So that's
Interesting.
another reason why it's not good to eat fish. The fish that they sell us, if it's organic, yes, they will not have mercury. But if it's the fish that they sell in the supermarket, yes, most of them have got mercury, and mercury is very, very dangerous for the
I see. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. So now, so the solution, as far as you're concerned, is plant-based, right? So when we say plant-based, what do we mean by plant-based? There are lots of, there's vegans, there's vegetarian. Are they the same as is plant-based, diet, same as vegan or vegetarian?
Yeah, so when you look at vegetarian, it's people who don't eat any animal product, but they eat dairy products. So they will still have milk, they will still have ice cream, they will have cheese and all that. When you look at vegans, they don't eat any animal product, they don't eat dairy product and all that. But the difference between plant-based and vegans is that vegan people, they eat a lot of processed food, the vegan processed food. While when you're on a plant-based nutrition, you tend to eat whole food, fruit, vegetables, legumes, grain, nuts, and seed, and you tend not to eat processed food or very minimal amount of processed food. That's the difference between vegans and people who are on the plant-based nutrition. So plant-based nutrition is mostly God's food, the food that you find in nature. But vegans, what I've noticed is that they eat a lot of processed food, and processed food are very bad. Even if they are vegans, they're still bad. People can use that as a transition food, but it's not the food that you will have to eat for the rest of your life. Because when you look at processed food, they've got additive, coloring, flavoring, preservative, which are chemical substances not recognized by the body, and they create havoc. So that's basically the difference. Yeah.
The difference. Thanks for explaining that, because I always get it mixed up. Okay, so vegans are the people who still eat like you won't believe it's not meat or something. You know, those kind of meat substitutes. Like instead of meat, they use. I see. And so for plant-based, plant-based is mostly just whole foods, nothing processed. So there's no substitutes for any, like you just can't have burger. Anything that that seems not burger, not anything that looks like burger, not at all, not anything processed, just natural, whole as it came from the ground. That's all you eat.
Yeah, that's the
food
ideal. But for me, from time to time, I will have a little bit of processed food. For example, to replace meat, I will have maybe tempeh, maybe I will have tofu, and stuff like that. For example, ice cream. For example, we are in February now. Since the year I started, I've had ice cream 2 times.
Wow.
Vegan ice cream.
In 9 years, you've had ice cream just twice?
No, since the beginning of this year.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 times. But if I have to take in 9 years, I don't think that I've had ice cream more than 15 times. I don't think so. Yeah.
So how do you comfort yourself? How do you comfort yourself when you don't feel too happy? What gives you comfort? Because a lot of times we eat food for comfort, and those foods are the ones that make your body, the cells in your body are like, yeah, your ice cream, something sweet,
Yeah.
How do you manage all of that?
Yeah, because when you start eating differently, you start eating a plant-based nutrition, your taste bud changes as well. Yeah. And you don't really feel the need to eat those things anymore. For example, for the past 9 years, I've not had not even a can of Coca-Cola or Fanta. For 9 years, I've not had any of that. So, yeah.
Amazing. I love that. So, question, how do you ensure you are getting the right nutrients? For instance, I know one thing people talk about or complain about as vegetarians or vegans is they don't get enough iron, and because there are things you still, animal products most times are rich in iron and certain nutrients and minerals. So how do you ensure you're not lacking any of those as a plant-based person?
Yeah, so when people say things like that, the answer that I give them, I said, look, when you look at the gorilla, we share 99% of the same DNA, which means that our digestive tract are practically the same. And that's why, for example, if you are lost in the forest and you don't know what to eat, you just have to look at what monkeys eat, and you're sure that you'll be fine. So when you look at gorillas, they only eat fruit, vegetables, and tender root. Gorillas, they don't eat meat. But you can see that they are very powerful. They are very muscular, and they don't suffer from any deficiencies. So the same way as me, to be able to have all the iron, to have all the protein, you just have to eat fruit, vegetables, legumes, grain, nuts, and seed. For example, you look in all the kales, in all the spinach, you've got tons of iron in it. Or, for example, for the protein, people will tell you that to have the protein, you only have to eat animal product. But when you look at, for example, when you take 100 grams of meat, you've got 26 grams of protein. And when you take 100 grams of beans, you've got 21 grams of protein. People don't know that even in legumes like beans, like lentils, like chickpeas, you've got loads of protein inside. So by just eating a variety of whole food, you will have all your nutrient requirement met. You don't have to be scared thinking that, oh, I'm not going to have enough nutrient and stuff like that. Because like I said, I'm a pure example. For the past 9 years, that's the way I've been eating. And like I said, I've not been sick a single day.
A single day. No, I
Yeah,
mean, you
for
are
9
the
years.
poster child. You are the living proof, right? So if anyone has any, if anyone has any contrary opinion, this is you living proof. Because I know sometimes they say some kind of minerals or vitamins are more bioavailable in animal products than they are in like plant products, right? And that's always the argument people have for you still need a little bit of meat or a little bit of those. But I mean, going by your story, I can't argue, I can't doubt it. Do you supplement? Do you take any kind of supplements, like to make up for any nutrients, or it's just plant based and that is it?
Yeah, just plant-based. I don't take
Just
no
plant based.
supplement
Okay.
because I think that they are artificial, and I just don't take all these things, because what they will tell you, okay, we have a supplement, and they will tell you that we made this supplement maybe with carrot, maybe with this kind of fruit, but why not go to these fruits directly instead of taking all these supplements? Because for me, all these supplements, they are artificial. And for me, basically, this is my own belief. But I think that has been created, what is synthetic, for me, it's not recognized in the body. So
Yeah.
for me, it's only whole food. If I eat a variety of food like mushroom, like kale, like plantain bananas, like potatoes, lentils, chickpeas, aubergine, I eat a variety of all this food, I'm sure that I will have all the nutrient, all the
Nutrients you
vitamin
need.
that I need. And like I said, I'm a living proof of that. If what I was doing was wrong, I would have been sick. I would have missed all these nutrients and all that. But my health is getting better and better.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, when I look at it, when I think about it, it's also like profits, big pharma, right? They want everyone to be on medication, on vitamins, so that they can make money off it. Wow, interesting. So by being on this plant-based diet, within 9 months, you lost all of this weight, and then all of the chronic ailments and illnesses you were experiencing, everything disappeared. And so what was it like? I mean, what did your doctor say? Having to go to his face and say, hey, I'm sticking it to your face. You said I'll be on medication. I am no longer on medication. This is happening. That is happening. How did that, what was that experience for you like? Just getting your
Yeah,
life back.
yeah. So my experience was very good. But when I went to the doctor and told him that I was able to, he told me that there was no high blood pressure anymore. And he asked me, what have you been doing? And I told him that I've went plant-based. I started to change my lifestyle. I'm just eating plant-based nutrition. And for him, it's like that's not was the reason. Because you will maybe not believe that, but doctors, they don't study nutrition in their medical studies. They don't study nutrition. And for him, me telling him that it's because of the nutrition, because I've changed my lifestyle, for him, it didn't mean anything. So he just brushed it off, and he didn't say anything yet,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
was really surprising.
I mean, why? What would be the purpose for him, or what would be his role in people's lives if they didn't, if they were all healthy like you, if we all adopted your lifestyle, then he'll be out of his profession, right? Out of job, because everyone will be healthy. No one would need, medical services and all that. So I'm not surprised at that. I hear that too a lot. I hear that doctors are usually not the first people to give you, nutritional advice. They'll rather you go the medication route, take this, take that, keep your medication, rather than telling you these are the kind of foods you should eat. This is what you shouldn't eat to get healthier. So, wow,
Yeah, exactly.
interesting.
Because when you look, you will see that the biggest industry in the world is the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah.
And they live off sick people. You need to be sick for this industry to thrive. And personally, I don't see what incentive they will have to make you in good health. Because if they do that, they will go out of business. It's like me, like I've told you, for the past 10 years, I've not taken a single pill. And if everybody has to do that, this business will go bust. And they don't want that. So they need to keep you sick. They need to give you the wrong information. And that's why, for example, I've got a YouTube channel. And I think a lot of my videos have been taken off because they said that I'm
Really?
yes, they said that I'm promulgating medical misinformation. At least 15 of my videos has been deleted, and at some point they even threatened me to shut down my channel, my YouTube channel. So they don't want people to give the right
Get
information, because for me, we should be free. You give information and the viewers will decide what yes to
To
do.
decide for themselves.
They decide for themselves, but they want people to say exactly the same thing. If you say something different, they say it's medical misinformation. So they've got no interest for people to be like me, to be off medication, because they will not make any money. Look, 10 years, I've not taken a single pill, not even an aspirin or paracetamol. If people ask to do like me, this industry will go bust.
Interesting. That is just so amazing. Wow. Wow. No, I mean, you're living proof. If there's any doubt, right? Like you're saying, you're just telling people whole food, go plant-based. If you do it for 1 week, 2 weeks, if you don't see any changes, then I mean, you tried. You know, you can go back to your old ways, but at least try it and see if it works. And if it works for you, the what's this word? How do they say it? The taste of the pudding is in the pudding, right? So if it works for you, then fine, keep going with it. I mean, this is good information. Interesting.
Yeah, even for example, just quickly, my son, he had eczema for 11 years. We saw doctors, they prescribed all sorts of creams, but there were no changes. But when we adopted this plant-based nutrition, it only took 2 weeks for his entire eczema to disappear completely. So 11 years on medication, no changes. 2 weeks on plant-based nutrition, eczema completely gone.
So there's some, okay, so well, let's go back to plant-based. So when we say plant-based, do we mean organic? Because if you go to the stores as well, there's organic and there's regular. So which will you advise people to stick with?
Yeah, so basically the best choice is to buy organic. That's the best choice. But people don't have to be phased out if you don't have, because organic costs more. If you can't afford organic, or sometimes you go to a shop and you can't find organic, you will still be able to reap the benefit of whole food. What is important is that it's whole food first. That's what is most important. Organic should be a bonus. So if you can't afford organic, you can still, for example, let's say you've got an organic apple and another apple which is not organic, and you cannot afford the organic apple, you can still buy a commercial apple. You will still be able to reap some benefits.
Benefits. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know, because that might be a concern for some people, because organic is usually so expensive. Okay, and then so how can people zhuzh it up, right? So because when you say whole foods, what is your ideal? And I know you wrote a book, and we'll go into that as well, just to touch on it. What is your ideal kind of breakfast, lunch, dinner, food? You know, like food prep. How does it look like? Is it salad all through, or what do you do to make it more interesting?
Yeah, so basically at the stage of my life now, I'm eating completely different, but I will say what I would like people to do. For example, because I don't eat breakfast, but for people who will still have can have breakfast, what they can do, for example, they can have, for example, oatmeal with bananas and almonds, or they can have the vegan plain yogurt with some mixed berries, with kiwi fruit, for example, or they can have porridge with strawberries, with dairy-free milk, or they can have, for example, toast with sliced banana with peanut butter. So that's some kind of breakfast that they can have. For example, for lunch...
Sorry to call you short. I'm so sorry. I needed to go there before I forget. So when you say plant-based yogurt, plant-based milk, how do you make plant-based of those? Isn't that processed? Aren't those processed kind of foods?
Yes. For example, it's possible. If people have the patience, they can still make that themselves. For example, for almond, dairy-free milk, it can be rice milk, almond milk, soya milk and stuff. For some
That's
people...
what you mean. Okay.
Yeah. Or for example, the vegan yogurt. It's a yogurt which is not based on milk. It's made from plants. But still they are processed. But if you can make the almond milk yourself at home, then it's organic. It's okay. That's not a problem.
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead. Sorry to call you short. Go ahead.
Yeah. So for lunch, people can have, for example, some brown rice with broccoli, maybe with some green beans, with some red bell pepper. Or they can have, for example, sweet potatoes with mushroom, with beans. Or they can have yam with aubergine and chickpeas, or they can have plantain bananas with chickpeas, with Asperger's, things like that. And for example, at night, because at night it's better to go on an empty stomach, so people need to eat something which is very light. For example, they can have a salad, which is maybe some lettuce with some cucumber, some tomatoes, some sweet corn, and stuff like that. Or they can have, for example, a lentil and kale soup, or they can have lentil and potato soup. I don't know what else. Or lentil and potato soups, something like that. That's what I will advise people to do when they want to adopt this plant-based nutrition.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's some kind of ideas that they can put in practice.
Thank you so much. That's good variety, because as you were saying, I was like, oh, okay, that's true. Oh, I can have lentil, I can have red peppers, I can have, they're actually options. I can have bread, I can still have my whole wheat bread, right? So yeah, and I can still have plant-based dairy options like almond milk or yogurt. Okay, I think not too bad. I think the only thing I probably would miss is the meat. Like meat, oh my god, actually growing up eating meat.
If you want meat, you can still make buy some tofu, and you can cook that, and it will taste like meat. You can use that
tofu
as a
tastes like
replacement.
meat. I've never had tofu.
Yeah, you can cook
Really?
that. There's a lot of recipes online.
Okay.
Where you can learn to cook that. Even in my YouTube channel, I've already posted a video where I was showing people how I was cooking tofu to taste like chicken.
Please, what's your YouTube channel name? Can you say it? And I'll also put it in the description box for our listeners and those watching to go check you out. What's your YouTube channel?
Yeah, people just need to tap my name, Olivier Mankondo. I'm the only one with that name on YouTube. So they just tap Olivier Mankondo and they will be able to find my channel.
Wow, interesting. Thank you so much. So what would be your advice to people? Because I know a lot of people, I mean, it's easier said than it's easy to gain all the weight, but losing it and being healthy, it's so hard. It's so hard. So what would be your advice to people, and how can they how did you go through from week one? I think you mentioned the first week you went cold turkey, wasn't easy. How did you break through? How did you keep going? And what would be your advice to people?
Yeah, so the advice that I will give to people is first of all to change their mindset, because the mindset is the most important thing. You can eat the best food, but if you have the wrong mindset, it's not going to work. And what people usually do when you tell them, okay, you will have to adopt a plant-based nutrition, the first thing that they will tell you is that it's going to be too difficult. They're not going to be able to make it. They love their meat. And as soon as you say that, because your subconscious mind is very powerful, your subconscious mind will make sure that you fail, because that's what you want. So you need to go with a winning mindset. You need to entertain the possibility. Basically, you when you start this lifestyle, you don't have to entertain the possibility that you're going to fail. That's what people need to do. And you need to basically not use the willpower, because the willpower will take you so far. It's like, for example, people at the end of the year, they will take their New Year's resolution. They will say, okay, in January, I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to stop smoking. They will do that for 1 week, 2 weeks, maximum 4 weeks, and they revert back to their old habits because they were trying to use the willpower. And the willpower is not enough. What you need to use is the white power. You need to find a good reason that will keep you on track. And for example, for me, I remember when I used to be sick, for example, when I was having the flu for a week, 2 weeks, I would be in bed. I would be suffering. I would have my nose blocked up. I would not be able to breathe. I would have all my back, my body aching. And when I was thinking about all the suffering that I was going through when I was sick, I would say to myself, Olivier, you need to keep on the right track. And that's what kept me on that track. And what people need to do as well is that they need to consider that adopting this plant-based nutrition, it's not a diet. It's not something that you do for a few days, a few weeks. It's something that you will have to adopt for your entire life. When I say plant-based nutrition, it's for people who cannot completely stop eating animal product. What they can do, they can decrease that considerably. Maybe in a week, they can have animal product, maybe for 2 days only. And they use that as a condiment if they cannot stop completely. And if they do that, they will still be able to reap a lot of benefit. And
Okay.
as well, what
That's
people
good.
need
That's
to
fine.
do, what people need to do is that they need to surround themselves with a supportive community. Because when you are doing that on your own, or you've got, for example, your partner is not supporting you, it's become very difficult to do that. So it's best to surround yourself with a supportive community, or find people online where you can connect and stuff like that. So that's the advice that I'm going to give people. And as well, is not to go cold turkey like me. Going cold turkey is not the good way, because I
Mhm.
didn't tell you, but when I did that, the week after, situation got worse. It
Really?
got really worse. Yes, I starting to have I had massive headache for 3 days that I've never had for in my entire life. I starting to have more cold sore, more abscesses, my joints starting to ache even more. And here at home, my family, they asked me to stop, but I said no, I'm going to continue, because I had a very strong mindset. And after a week, all these symptoms completely disappeared, all these detox symptoms. So what I will ask people is to go slowly, but they will have to be consistent. For example, if you are used to eat animal product 7 days a week, as a start, you can continue to eat animal product, dairy product, and processed food for 5 days, and for 2 days you go plant-based. You do that maybe for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then you decrease that to 4 days. For 4 days, you continue to eat animal product, and you go slowly like that, so that your body get used to the change, and you will not have to go through all these detox symptoms.
Interesting. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing all of those information. Wow. So, how can people reach? Because I'm sure people listening right now probably, want to reach out and get more information. Maybe one to one. I know you're a wellness coach. A wellness coach and weight loss coach. How can people reach you? How can they connect with your work? You wrote a book. Can you tell us about that book and why did you write it and how can people get it?
So the book is called The Plant-Based Nutrition, How It's Going to Change Your Life. So I wrote the book because, like I said, we've been told that when we grow older, we need to be sick. And this was really different from my own experience, because, like I said, I started this process when I was 46. Today I'm 55, and my health is getting better and better. And I just wanted to tell people that it's possible to live a disease-free life. People don't have to be sick. Being sick is a choice. And that's why, to reach more people, I decided to write the book. So the book is divided in 4 parts. In the first part, I talk about why we are frugivores, because a lot of people think that we are omnivores, but we are not. We are frugivores. So I try to show people that
Frugivores?
frugivores, so we eat fruit.
Not herb. Oh, okay. No.
No, we are frugivores, like monkeys. We eat primarily fruit, and then we can add a little bit of a little bit of vegetables. But we are at the base, we are frugivores. So it's fruit that we eat. So that's
Where
the
did you get all of this information from? Just out of curiosity. How do you know these things?
I've done loads and loads of research. I've
Research. Okay.
read lots of research, my own
Okay.
experience. I've watched tons of videos on YouTube. So that's how I've been able to get all this knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and on the second part of my book, I talk about the negative effect of animal product, dairy product, and
Mm.
processed food. In the third part, I talk about my transformation, the way I've been able to transform my life. And in the last part, I give people a lot of tips and tricks, because a lot of people who keep asking me what can they do to be in good health. So I'm trying to give a lot of tricks. For example, to exercise, for example, to breathe fresher, to go outside, go to the park when they can breathe fresher, because in our home it's very toxic. I ask people, for example, to stop using the microwave, because it's very bad for our system. So a lot of tips and tricks in that way. And if people want to connect with me, first of all, I would like to give your viewers or your listeners my 7 tips to lose weight, which are
Okay.
the exact same 7 tips that I've used myself to lose all this weight. I'll give you the link so you can put that in the show note, and people will be able to download that for free.
Okay,
And
thank
as
you.
well, for people who would like to connect with me, they can go on my website, which is oliviermankondo.com, oliviermankondo.com, and they can book a discovery call to be able to enroll in my 16-week one-on-one coaching program. And so basically on the discovery call, we will go through the health journey. We'll see what their eating habits, since when they've been having lots of problems, what they've been trying to do to solve the problem. So we'll go through all that, look at the current lifestyle and all that. And after that, I will introduce them to my 3-step process. And from there, we're going to see if there's a fit. If there's a good fit, then there will be an opportunity for us to work together so that we can address all the problems that have been troubling them, so we can sort that once and for all. So basically, that's how people can get hold of me.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm going to put all of your information in the YouTube video description below, as well as in the podcast show notes. Yeah. So, yeah. Wow. Thank you so much, Olivia. Like, I feel so refreshed after this conversation. If I was ever doubting plant-based, I think you've just confirmed that it works. Because like I said, I did it for 7 days and it was hard, but I saw the benefits. I went for I just saw the benefits. So definitely, it's something I definitely would be considering adopting. Is a lifestyle I definitely will be considering to adopt. And I hope our listeners everywhere, whatever you're going through, whatever the doctor's report are, however, you probably want to lose weight. There's so many ways to lose weight, but how better way to lose weight than to not only lose the weight, but also nourish your body, like ensure you're giving your body the right food, the right nutrition it needs, to grow and become better and look more youthful and younger. I can't believe you said you're 55. Oh my God, you don't look 55. You don't look like someone in your 50s. So definitely that works. I definitely need to, start adopting some of those strategies. Thank you so much, Olivier. Did you have any final word for our viewers before we round up?
Yeah. So, like I was saying, people need to understand that when we grow older, we don't have to be sick. Being sick is a choice. If you start eating the right food, you start entertaining positive emotion most of the time. You control what you put on your skin, on your hair. There's no reason for people to be sick. So when we are born on this earth, the most important thing that we have is our body. It's our temple, and we've only got one. So we need to make sure that we're in good health so that we can have a longer and fruitful life. I would imagine that most people would like to see their kids growing up, getting married, seeing their grandchildren. And to be able to do that, you need to be in good health. And people have the power to be able to do that. They've got the power to change whatever they want. And that's what I would like people really to understand from this podcast, that they have the choice. They can be in good health if they want it. They just have to make the right choices, and there will be no reason for them to be sick. They don't have to think that because I'm getting older, it's normal to be sick. No, it's not normal. You don't have to be sick. For example, when you look at animals in the forest, they don't have vets in the forest, but you will see most of their lives, they live in good health. Why? Because the food biologically designed for their mechanisms. You will not see, for example, a lion starting to eat grass every day. You won't see that. Or you won't see, for example, an antelope starting to eat meat. They don't do that. They stick to the food that is biologically designed for the system. And that's exactly what we have to do, because these animals have been created by God. So I would imagine that the same wisdom that has been put in their bodies is the same that has been put on in our bodies. So if we start following the laws of nature, there's no reason for us to be sick. And that's what really I want people to understand.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So the medicine we need is in the food that God has created, which is plants, not synthetic, medicine that the doctors. And I think also for parents listening or watching, I think it might be good also to start inculcating it in your children from young, right? What kind of food to eat. Like we were discussing earlier, back home in Africa where we come from, a lot of people seem to turn their back on the natural organic food, right? And they embrace the imported, foreign type of food, the processed food. We feel like eating processed food is, for the rich and the accomplished, which is wrong. So we need to start changing, our mindset, our children's mindset to to imbibe, these truths from a young age so they can start early. Imagine eating plant-based. I mean, for children, I guess they need some, I don't know, but yeah, just imagine eating it from as a child growing up, you almost being formidable as an adult.
Yeah,
So thank
but
you so,
on
so
that
much.
on that
Go
subject,
ahead.
sorry to interrupt you on that subject, for example, because a lot of people will say, oh no, the kids, they need animal product, they need all these things. But my son, the last one, he started this process when he was 5 years old. Today,
Really?
next month is going to be 14. Even I think one of the days I asked him, and he told me that he can't even remember the taste of meat because he stopped eating meat when he was 5 years old. And now at home, for example, we don't have any medication because people don't get sick. And my son is growing up very healthy. He's not overweight compared to a lot of his friends. So people don't have to be scared that if you start eating this kind of way, your kids will be sick. Then no, it's not true because, like I said, my son started when he was 5 years old. Next month is going to be 14, and his health is getting better and better.
Thank you so, so much, Olivia. I really appreciate your time here with us on this show. This was a very good, rich discussion we had. I really enjoyed myself. And viewers, I hope you enjoyed our discussion as well. I hope you took a thing or two from it. I'm sure you did. So please leave us a comment, ask your questions, share your own stories with us. Do you have any, do you have any experience with eating, plant-based or maybe eating processed or animal? Do you have any counter information here? Just share with us. We want it to be interactive. And please reach out to Olivier. Please engage with his work. Go to his YouTube channel. A lot of information there to learn from. Connect with him as a wellness coach. He'll be of great use to you. Thank you so much for coming again. Please like, comment, subscribe, and keep coming back for our amazing content. We really appreciate your support. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Thank you, Olivier.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks.